Hey Bandidos, Tux here. So you know that big announcement, that special report we just got a few days ago called Project Resolve? Yeah, so phase 1, the PTS to test some of those changes is now live, and with it, we got some patch notes hot off the press. Oh boy, and just to name a few highlights, we're gonna see a 30% mag size brand bonus. We'll now be able to build over 8% armor regen builds using brand sets. The Descent game mode gets easier with more rewards, and huge, with a new vendor making it a named item and exotic farm like Countdown. Wait, we can't change any gear during combat and PvE? Not sure if this is right, but that's a doozy for builders. The weekly summer project gets a mega buff and is easier to complete. Weapons are getting as high as a 30% weapon damage buff and much, much more. Let's go through the patch notes right now and see what they have in store for us. Let's do it. So if you're not caught up on the latest news, just a few days ago, the devs announced Project Resolve and gave us the details on what is going to be a major overhaul on the Division 2. And it's releasing right around the corner this February, along with Season 3. Good and bad news, a lot of the changes are amazing. The downside is this is going to push out the DLC into 2025. So we just got some patch notes literally a moment ago. I haven't even read them yet. And so we are going to explore this together. Let's get into it.
Hostile broadcast picked up.
So here are the patch notes. They are posted on the known issues board on Trello if you have access to that. If you don't, I'm going to go ahead and pop a link down below in the description area. So TU20 PTS1 patch notes. So as a reminder, they're doing 2 PTS tests for Project Resolve. So this is just the first. So the patch size is 90 gigs. And if you didn't know, the PTS is only available for the PC. So console players won't have the opportunity to test this. Sort of a problem. Okay, the start date, that's today, December 15th at 1 p.m. CET, 4 a.m. Pacific time. This is live now. The end date is just a few days away. It's Monday, basically at 4 a.m. Pacific time. So it reads here, please note these proposed changes are not final and we may decide not to implement some of them in the game based on your feedback. So everything we're about to review is for testing and not finalized. So we could see some revamps, we could see some cancellations, whatever. Okay, phase 1 isn't going to include these things. So we're not going to see weapons, gear, and talents. We're not going to see global event changes and inventory quality of life updates. So none of that we're going to see today in these notes. All these features will be made available in the future tests. Hey, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to jump straight into the weapon balancing and gear balancing stats because those are really exciting. I don't think these things are going to show up in the PTS. We'll see, but they said up above that this is for phase 2. But either way, they're providing the patch notes on the changes that they made. And this is probably the most interesting stuff, in my opinion. Weapons balancing. Exotic weapons. All exotic weapons' third attributes will be reconfigurable. That's as of now. That's great news. This is a general buff balance pass to make all the less popular weapons more interesting. Super excited about that. I'm not sure if this is going to be seen in this PTS or if they're just dropping the notes for phase 2. I'm not sure, but this is going to affect our builds a ton. So ACR and the ACRE plus 10% weapon damage. I love the ACRE. This weapon is slept on and they're making it stronger. It's already a strong weapon. This is probably going to make it closer to maybe the Kingbreaker, the AK series. Anyways, this is one of those lower RPMs that hits really hard, but this thing has no recoil. I mean, you can tag enemies at 100 meters in the head. Anyways, CTR21, the rail splitter, plus 10 mag size. That's crazy. So if you're not aware, the CTAR is the 900 RPM assault rifle. The rail splitter is the named version that has perfect accuracy on it. So a larger mag. So not all of the weapons are just getting a damage buff or an RPM buff. They're getting other things like mag size. That's a big deal. So especially on faster weapons, because RPMs are great, rate of fire is awesome, but it also means you're losing more bullets per second as well. So that's a good change. Okay, F2000, and the named version is the shield splinter. So this is a really good assault rifle. It's usually down 1 mod. It looks like they're making it faster. Not sure that's a great thing because of what I just said, but they're complementing it with a larger mag. This is the Ouroboros formula, if you're not aware. Does that look familiar? Yeah. So if you think about the Ouroboros, let me see, let me just pull it up here. And so a lot of people are like, oh, wow, the Ouroboros is great because it's the bigger mag, but they had to, you know, it's not a gift as much as you think it is, you know? So here's the Ouroboros. The non-exotic tactical vector is 1200 RPM with a 35 round mag, and it's an extremely effective weapon. What they did with the Ouroboros is basically gave us a shit talent that gives you no damage. It has some nice mods, but they increased the RPM by basically 285, give or take. So that sounds amazing, but on a weapon that's already fast, a fast weapon that gets faster is just still fast. So of course, speed, RPMs is a direct DPS impact. So it's great. However, when you miss, it is now more painful. And so they increased the mag from 35 to 50 for this exotic, and it sounds amazing. And it is when you're really close and shoving all that mag down somebody's belly button hole. But when you're shooting beyond 5 meters, basically, you're missing more shots per second. And I call that MPS. Misses per second. But thank God you got a fast reload, because you're gonna be reloading just as often as you are with the tactical vector. That's what I learned. So the CTAR was already fast, so what they did is just gave it a bigger mag size to make it better. And that's smart. I like that they did that. In the F2000, they're giving us both. So because they increased the RPMs, they have to give it the mag size. So that puts it on par probably with the CTAR, maybe making it even stronger. Okay, the FAL and all of its friends are gonna get 5% more weapon damage. It's already a strong weapon, but that one has a very small mag, if I remember. The G36 series and all of its friends are okay. So in the name version is Born Great, but they're giving it more RPM. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. I would actually like more damage and less RPM on that weapon. Problem with the G36 series is that it has an upfront kick, and so you lose a lot of your mag to miss shots as you're trying to gain control in the first 15 rounds or so. And so they increase the RPM, which is gonna make that kick a little bit harder, but also more missed shots before you gain control. The Honey Badger, which is an awesome assault rifle, and its named version is the Savage Wolverine, a must get. They give you +5 mag size. Cool, I'll take it. MK16 and its friends. This is a very good weapon, by the way. They give it more weapon damage. Oh, all right, it already hit pretty hard. Very good one for PvP, by the way, especially if you like headshots. Military P416, I like this weapon. The named version is the Glory Days. The exotic is the Eagle Bearer. We get +50 RPM. That's a big deal. That's making it a lot closer to the Police M4 series or the St. Elmo's, but this has a higher base weapon damage than the Police series. So very interesting. So this gun used to be the meta assault rifle back in the day. I'm excited to see if it can make its way to that place again. Submachine guns, we love these. The AUG, nobody uses this, gets 25 RPM and 10% weapon damage, probably needed. The Banshee or the Grudge gets 50 RPM and 5% weapon damage. Okay, that's good. All the MP series, including the Cabaret, gets a little bit of a mag bump. MP7 in the Swap Chain, which is a good weapon, by the way, underutilized, 50 RPM, it's already fast, +5% weapon damage, a little helpful. The T821's weapon damage, converted SMG, I love the converted SMG9, that's the Tech 9, and they just made it faster, and that thing is a beast. I love that SMG. If you haven't tried it, you need to. Ooh, the M1928, I love the M1928. The Tommy gun, the Slayer, grown great, not so much. However, the 1928 with the stick mag is an amazing SMG. It has no mods and it doesn't even need them because it hits like a freight train, and they just made it hit harder. So it's now a freight train with an extra caboose at +10% weapon damage. The Police UMP is very similar to the 1928, except it has more mods. So there's a trade-off there from damage, I believe. But either way, this gives you +10% more weapon damage. So they buffed it the same as the 1928. Light machine guns, the Iron Lung, more weapon damage. I appreciate that. I would like less reload time though. Help. All other LMGs +20% weapon damage. Wow, a global buff to LMGs. I love that. The GR9, the Sleipner, I'm coming. Rifles, okay, ACR SS. It's a really attractive gun, but it's pretty weak. Let's admit it. They're giving it more weapon damage. We got the Ruthless and the Merciless, more weapon damage. I'm not sure that's enough to make me use that weapon more. The USC 45, which is actually fun to whip out from time to time, gets more weapon damage. It's a good DPS weapon. The UIC 15, 30% weapon damage. Wow, I don't even know if I know that weapon, but it's getting a major buff. Wow, the M16, nobody uses that. It's the only weapon in the game with burst fire. It gets 30% weapon damage. The MDR battle rifle, 20 RPM, 10 weapon damage. Interesting. The Resolute MK47 in the Harmony, which is actually very strong, by the way. It's up there, +20% weapon damage, making it even stronger. The military MK17 hits almost as hard as the M1A Classic. It's just under that. So they're giving it 25% more weapon damage. Wow. And they're not buffing the M1A from what I can see, so that's gonna get a lot closer to the M1A. Now, I'm really excited about this last bullet point here in this category. So the SIG 716 series, especially the CQB and the Artist tool, gets 25% more weapon damage. Now, the Ravenous is still a pain in the ass because you have to switch shoulders, which makes a lot of cover not usable with that weapon, which is fine in some content. Plus, it's a really slow shooter. I'm just not a big fan of the Ravenous. Maybe you are. But the CQB is a beast. It's steady Freddy, and they just made it hit harder. It's fast also. Large mag and lots of mod options. Marksmans, I love this category. Probably my favorite in the game, actually. Any surprises there? Probably not. M700 Carbine, I know a lot of you guys like that. The Model 700 as well is a good one. Like the Ecom's long stick. Gets more optimal range and 25% weapon damage. That's insane because the M700 hits hard. It's got a very slow reload though. That's usually its downside, but maybe they're trying to make it more worth it. It's the one that looks like a hunting rifle. Okay, the Covert SRS. This is actually my favorite sniper in the game. The DZ version is called Pinprick. They need to redo that talent. And the exotic is the Mantis, which is my favorite exotic sniper in the game because it gives you that free decoy. Yeah, so they just upped this category by 30% weapon damage. Holy crap. That might make this officially the best sniper in the game. The Mantis is a beast. It shoots fast, shoots straight, quick reloads, easy to handle, plays CQB, and unlimited decoys, one of the most powerful skills of all skills in a game of skills. SR1, designated hitter, Adrestia, these things, 30% weapon damage. Paratrooper, surplus SVD to commandant, the Dread Edict, 15% weapon damage. Oh, I love that. I actually like the SVDs. I mean, it's not your everyday Joe weapon, but that Dread Edict, if you guys don't know, is an absolute beast. You're probably sleeping on it. I have a few builds for you out there on this thing. You need to try it. It just got stronger, and it was already strong. It already had the ability to chain kill. Tactical 308 or the Scalpel, they'll give you 20 RPM. That's probably good. That thing is not that fun to use. The Carbine 7 and Stoner LMG will no longer drop with a preset talent. That's good. That'll make it easier to farm. Let's look at gear balancing. Our objective is to enhance the strength of the 2 and 3-piece brand sets. Oh, yes, please. This is more detail in what they discussed in the live stream, the special report. So this is good. We can actually see something. This is a big deal for me. This is gonna keep us busy for a long time. We're gonna be able to upgrade a lot of our builds. Our favorite builds are probably gonna get better. And this is also gonna help build diversity so that we don't always rely on just gear sets. That gets a little bland. Okay, our objective is to enhance the strength of the 2 to 3-piece brand set bonuses. In order to reward players for committing to a specific brand set, we want to make the 3-piece bonus more enticing while also making less utilized mechanics more relevant. So let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in on this. Okay, so I get it. So here's the layout. So on the left-hand side in the white header is the before and then the changes in the after. Got it. Okay, so 511, it looks like they're increasing hazard protection to 20%. On the Badger Tough, instead of 10% armor on kill, 50% armor on kill. Wow, that's nice. Bellstone Armory. Oh, this is one of my favorite brand sets, by the way. 40% incoming repairs. I wish they were doing something to the armor on kill, to be honest. But I never use that incoming repair, but we'll see. Brazos to Arquebus. 30% mag size. Holy crap. That's a big deal, guys. So one of the best weapons to use a 3-piece Brazos with is the capacitor. So this is the capacitor. It's got only 41 rounds in the mag. It's an assault rifle where most of those weapons have 51. So buffing up by 30% is gonna be amazing. I'm sure by now you notice how much you reload with the capacitor and how much more effective of a killer, especially in Legendary, would you be with the larger mag. It's one of the strongest assault rifles in the game, really is. And the reason why is if you look at the stats. So it's rare to see this on an assault rifle. 12% damage to armor is rare. And it's got health damage at 9.5 where most have 21% health damage. But check this out. We're now going to be able to re-roll that third attribute slot, right? So you're going to get damage to targets out of cover there with your damage to armor, making it more applicable to more targets. I'm psyched. I love 3-piece Brazos with the capacitor. It's really good in Legendary, saves your butt, helps you kill more targets, reduces reloads, and helps you take the lead in kills. That's something a spreadsheet's not going to tell you. Really excited about that. Good change, good change. Okay, so we got Gila Guard giving us more health, which is okay. And then more armor regen, so it gets a double whammy. 3% armor regen is a lot. So imagine running 3-piece pieces of Gila with the Memento, putting you at an automatic 6%. And then you have 2 more slots open where you could run a Bellstone and a Murakami. So that pushes you at 8% armor regen. That's really strong. Golem gets a change from 1% regen to 2% regen, like that. And then 10% total armor instead of 5% total armor. Wow, that's like the Foundry gear set. Pretty amazing. Habsburg Guard gets 20% status effects. Not excited about that. Langmo gets more skill health. Ooh, that's actually quite a buff. And 20% more LMG damage. That's still not going to be enough for me to run 3 pieces of Langmo. Sorry. I'm in it for the explosive resistance. Okay, Uzina Getica, 20% hazard protection. Ooh, that's a nice change. I would like to see some more armor on kill. That will really help, won't it? Okay, good news there. So some really good changes, but we're not done. Here is the next batch. Alp Summit, 30% more skill duration. Dang, that's stronger than Murakami. We'll see if they buff that one too. 30% status effects. Dang. All right, China Light, 20% skill haste. That's good. 20% status effects, also good. That's going to make your explosive status effect builds better and make it even better than adding a golden piece. That's really good. Electrique is going to get 20% SMG damage. Not interested. Empress International, 20% skill damage. Wow, that's great. Just a straight up power buff. Very good. Hannah Yu, 20% skill damage, power buff. 10% weapon damage. Wow. That's better than Walker and Harris. So those hybrid skill builds, 3-piece Hannah Yu isn't bad. And plus, we're already running that named backpack with combined arms. Murakamis, let's see what they got here. So they're buffing to 30% repair skills and 30% skill damage. Whoa, that's a 20% skill damage increase. That'll be interesting. Let's see what we can do with that. Nobody uses Murakami except for those named knee pads. RNK, 25% explosive resistance. What? That's crazy. That's better than the Langmo's one piece. I get it. Love it. And 40% repair skills. Ooh, R&K. I've always liked R&K. You got to see through the obvious. Some people are like, oh, incoming repair is lame. Incoming repairs is amazing. I feel like a lot of people just don't like it because it doesn't show up on your stats. It's an accelerator to repair skills for yourself. And so if you're running a self-healer build, like, you know, a fixer drone, which I know you're running, it's a good way to get a buff out of that. 2 pieces are explosive resistance, and I love explosive resistance legendary builds. You feel like a god with those. Only the initiated know what I'm talking about. And then you get 40% repair skills. And so with those explosive resistance builds, we're usually running repairs. So a 3-piece R&K is extremely attractive now. Okay, Wyvern, you get 5% more status effects and 20% more skill duration. That's insane. All right, here's more. Looking at Cheska, you get 30% more health. Lame. Douglas and Harding, you get 30% more weapon accuracy. Meh, your pistol doesn't need accuracy. Fenris Group, you get 30% weapon stability. That's actually pretty darn good because you're getting AR damage and reload speed, which both are actually very attractive on ARs. And then the 3rd piece opening up stability. I think a 3-piece Fenris is going to look pretty darn good. The question is, are you going to choose that over Striker? Grupo, 20% explosive damage. Holy crap, that's 5% more. Petrov defense, 30% ammo capacity. Overload armaments, 15% weapon handling. Oh, that's cool. That's 5% more. And then Walker and Harris, you get 10% damage to health. Wow, let's combine that with the Yaw mask and make a health damage build. Game modes, Descent. They lowered the required heat necessary to reach the Nemesis. That's great. We'll get there faster. This will reduce the minimum loop at which players can encounter Nemesis to 4 and the maximum loop to 9. So yeah, we were somewhere like 5 and 6 on average, something like that. They decreased the reward requirements in Descent by 1 to 5 loops. Players will now receive more loot caches rewards for completing the same amount of loops as before. That's huge. Added exotic and named caches within the NSA tech store found outside the Descent entrance. The prices are placeholders. Holy shit, they did it. That's exactly what we asked for in our feedback video. That's exactly, we did it. We did it. Shoot, I'm really excited about that. Okay, so do you see what they're saying? They're changing the NSA tech store into an actual vendor where I'm guessing you can use your NSA earned tech to buy exotic and name caches. That makes that a new farm like Countdown. So exciting, guys. That's a big deal. We might now have a reason to go into Descent on the regular, besides just trying to rank up on the leaderboard. That's a huge deal, guys, because it's the reward system that's really gonna get us back in there. Especially for solo players, this is a good game mode. Added talent pool rotations in Descent that are planned to change on a weekly basis. We discussed that earlier. These pools have different thematic and consists of 35 talents and 6 exotic talents each. All right, let's look at those PvE improvements, starting with quality of life updates. So scaling open world loot crates with world difficulty. So lots of complaints, including for me, like I don't even open random loot crates in the open world because they almost guarantee a purple drop, and it's pretty lame. And I play on heroic. So now when we play on heroic, we won't experience purple gear as an example. So good news. Good news, finally got around to fixing that. So capped SHD watch HP bonus to level 2000 and increase the HP gain. So basically your HP bonus is gonna cap at 60,000 and you're gonna get there faster now, which is good. Level 1 to 1000, there's gonna be no changes. Level 1001 to 2000, change HP gain from 0.3 to 30 HP per level. Whoa. Level 2000 and beyond, at the moment, agents will only get scavenging materials each level. Yeah, that's fine. But in PvP, it did have a big impact and that's why they're changing it. Okay, inventory, added new menu called Tinkering, which combines the feature of optimization and recalibration. Armor kits, ability to instantly use an armor kit to replenish 25% armor. So 5-second cooldown on that. This is in addition to holding the button to replenish at 100%. That's pretty cool. And I create a lot of my builds with the intent to never use an armor kit because I find they get me killed more than they help me survive because of how long it takes to equip them. I rarely use armor kits, honestly. Okay, so gear combat lock. So while in combat, players will no longer be allowed to swap individual gear pieces or loadouts. That's weird the way it's worded because I understood that to be a PvP thing, but they have this under the PvE section. I hope that's an error because not being able to change pieces or loadouts during combat is really annoying. So it's already currently like that in the testing range. Have you ever tried to go down there and then swap your build while you're in the testing range? It doesn't allow you to do that. You have to go out into the hallway and swap. Yeah, it's annoying like that. So I really hope this is just a PvP thing. I mean, for the most part, I don't change gear pieces while I'm in combat, but I do when I'm in a build lab and when I'm experimenting or tinkering. And so I make changes on the fly and I'd still like to do that. I don't have to go all the way back to the base of operations. So what about those people that are into builds and are tinkering? I mean, come on, man. All right, expertise. Our intention is to prioritize the player's time by implementing this change, which aims to make expertise upgrades more easily attainable and ensure that the costs of upgrading are in proportion to the benefits gained. Expertise reduction to make upgrades more accessible. This is the first look at the new cost. So for the most part, this is to help new players sort of get caught up with some of us veterans because there creates a wide gap in the expertise for those that are coming in and it feels like a giant mountain that you're never going to get to the top of. So hopefully this helps you grind it a little easier. Probably down at the bottom, 11 to 24. That's what's most interesting. So recals and exotics. Yeah, so it's going to cost you 42 exotic materials. That's a lot to reach the cap. Still expensive. That's one item. Right? Wish us all luck. Okay, we are investigating some changes and additions to completing conditions and rewards to make projects more interesting and worthwhile. I think this is important. Like, I never do my daily projects. I do some of the weekly ones, but those other ones have never really seemed worth my time. So hopefully this changes things. So look, they're changing the XP to be equivalent to 1 level up. That's pretty cool. If you're new to the game and you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can come up here to your menu and then look at your projects. So they're talking about these daily projects here. So you can see there's some XP there at about 1.5 million on that one. And wow, and look at all the rewards they're adding. So optimization, materials, cash, challenging bounty, black tusk. So they're gonna give us another bounty, I guess. One crafting blueprint. What's that about? Do you think it could include a named item blueprint? I don't know. Otherwise, just a random crafting blueprint. But if we've been playing for a while, don't we already have all of those? One equipment item. Okay, that's nice. One SHD calibration point. Very nice. You need those. You just saw that the expertise eats those alive, right? Okay. And then they're adding these missions, I'm guessing, in those pool of projects. So Potomac Event Center, Federal Emergency Bunker, Grand Washington Hotel, White Oak, which I like, Jefferson Plaza, and DCD headquarters. Cool. Daily projects. What were we in? Oh, those are the season pass daily projects. Gotcha. Now here's a specific daily projects. These are the regular daily projects. So base of operations, more rewards have been added to make the project more appealing. Conditions: to complete activities, neutralize named enemies, resupply control points, or complete a mission in a specific NZ. Okay, rewards. So we're gonna get a challenging bounty. They gave us XP, half of a level up. Okay. 5x specialization points. Cool. 2x equipment items. Recalibration cash. That's cool. 1x crafting blueprint. Well, I'm really interested in what these blueprints are about. Okay, Dark Zone and conflict. So this is what the majority of phase 1 into PTS is focused on. Some objective goals have been made easier since not all players want to spend time doing PvP content or are not proficient enough to reach the goal. This is the PvP projects. All conditions that require killing agents have been removed. Wow, that's a big deal. Being replaced by PV-orientated ones. Extract items, clear landmarks, etc. That's great. That's really great. A conflict. Removed the win match requirement. Players will now only require to complete matches and kill other players. Also, condition difficulty was lowered overall. Yeah, that's great news. Cool. Rewards, you're gonna get 1 SHD calibration, crafting materials, Dark Zone XP, Conflict XP, 2x equipment items, and 1 weapon crafting cache. Yeah, that seems very nice. And sounds all easy too. Weekly projects, Invasion Project. More rewards have been added to make the project more appealing. Cool. Conditions, to neutralize named enemies, faction activities, faction bounties, complete invaded missions or certain difficulties, and complete invaded strongholds on certain difficulties. Got it? Okay, rewards. So 5 SHD calibrations, heroic faction bounty, 2x equipment, crafting blueprints, 5x specialization points. Wow. Change XP to equivalent to 1 level up. That's nice. Change heroic bounty, all factions. So they're adding one. New 1x named item cache. Ooh, that's very nice. Remember, named item caches can include Dark Zone specific items, like the Dark Winter. New 1 weapon crafting cache. Cool. That seems really rewarding, guys. That's just for doing your invasions, which I currently started doing again after years of not doing them, and I'm really enjoying them, by the way. Weekly legendary missions. More rewards have been added to make the project more appealing. It relates to some of the hardest content in the game, and it should be rewarded accordingly. Agreed. Conditions, complete 1 of the legendary strongholds. So this is a rotation. So every week you're gonna get a different legendary, and it's usually the main legendaries, the main 3, not the additional legendaries that they added later. Maybe that'll change. Rewards, 1 exotic cache, which we've always gotten, and then this is what they added. 1 optimization cache, 2 recalibration caches, that's nice, 1 gear crafting cache. That's really nice. So resources, I like that. Resources are very valuable in this game. Remember, optimization and expertise, those all cost those things. SHD requisition, slight buff to rewards to encourage more engagement. So conditions, to donate resources to control points or NPCs. Rewards, this is that easy one that most people do on Tuesday to get that free exotic cache. Okay, so you're still gonna get that. Now you're gonna get crafting blueprints, 5 specialization points. Wow, that's huge. 1 XP level up and a named item cache. Wow, that's really rewarding, guys. It's gonna be raining loot in the game, I have a feeling. Okay, weekly Dark Zone conflict project. So change conditions. Regardless of its DZ or conflict focus, the player had to do activities related to both game modes. Now the conditions have been split depending on the project's focus and were made easier to achieve. For example, conflict player kill from 20 to 10, conflict match win from 2 to 1, etc. So they basically made it half as difficult. All right, 5 SHD calibrations as a reward, Dark Zone XP, conflict XP, 2 equipment items. Wow, 2 named item caches. Ooh, very nice. And then they took away the recalibration cache. Okay, weekly summer project. Let's see what goes on here because more people need to be doing the summit. It'd be nice if there weren't so many darn obstacles. Okay, change the conditions. Complete 15 instead of 30. Oh, wow, that's great. Because 30 was a hustle, man. I'm telling you, my legs were tired going up all those stairs. Summit floors in hard or challenging difficulty, or greater at least. I'm assuming you can still do it in heroic or even legendary, right? But I think they're saying in at least hard or challenging. I don't know. But either way, complete 15. We'll see what that's about. I'm excited about that. That's great. That'll make me go in there more. Okay, rewards. 1 exotic cache. That's awesome. Crafting blueprints. 5 specialization points. 2 named item caches. You're gonna get 1 level up on your XP and 1 recalibration cache. That sounds worth it. 15 floors, easy peasy. All right, here's a couple of other things. They fixed the issue with the summit level 100 XP, so they nerfed it. Various stability improvements in Countdown, Descent, and Summit. So that's the end of the patch notes. So I'm really excited. So what do you guys think about these changes? And more importantly, what are you looking forward to the most? Thank you for hanging out with me today. My name is TuxedoBandido, and this was another episode of The Division 2. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss out on the fantastic experiences waiting for you in The Division 2. And if you like builds like this, check out the recommended build video I have here for you. If you have anything you want to see covered, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make everything possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be without you.
Follow me.
I get it.